Hello my dear students, we have Dr. Kavan over here who is NEETPG 2019 rank 18. He is from BJMC Ahmedabad, currently doing his internship which is not yet over. So this is an excellent result, what any intern can dream of. Congratulations Kavan.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Your story.
Actually, I joined DAMS in the T&D course in the year 2018. Our batch started from March. Our first session was in the first week of March, and beforehand I had taken the reviews of my seniors regarding what is the T&D course actually and how it can be helpful. And since I was anticipating that the internships would be heavy and I would be getting less time, so I opted out from the regular batch course because I wanted more time to study myself, and I joined the T&D course. And accordingly I took the schedule from the DAMS Gujarat regulating bodies, and then I started my preparation from the 1st of February.
Okay.
Exactly 1 month and 5 days prior to my first T&D session.
Okay.
And I completed 4 subjects before the commencement of my T&D, including the ones which were there in the initial phase of the T&D.
Okay.
So because I wanted to have one reading prior to attending the T&D because it was a new experience for me. So initially our first session was biochemistry. So in my study preparation, I started with biochemistry, then I did pathology, and these were the 2 bigger subjects for me. So then I switched over to orthopedics and dermat.
Okay.
So 2 smaller subjects and 2 larger subjects I completed before 1st March. Then from 1st or 2nd March onwards, I again switched over to biochemistry, and I tried to complete my notes before my T&D. Then I attended T&D, and then accordingly, as per the guidance of Amit Jain sir, I proceeded further.
Okay. Now in the T&D, generally in the entire year we have some 23 or 24 sessions.
Yes.
Okay. Very true. How many did you miss?
Actually, I did not miss any of the T&D sessions.
Okay.
Because T&Ds were in the weekdays, and in my internship I could manage to put a replacement, or I could get permission for one leave, or I would compensate before or afterwards, and I did not miss a single session of T&D.
Tests. Did you give the tests?
Testing, actually, I was told initially only that testing is very, very important, and it has to be done simultaneously along with the classes. T&D itself is a test, and therefore that was the first hand test experience in which I used to get different types of questions from as per the different faculties. They used to frame questions in different manners, keeping different viewpoints of examiners in mind, and accordingly they were discussing after the T&D, they were discussing the questions also, and they used to give us the insight of how the examiners think while they frame the questions, and what should we think when we see a question, and how should we attempt the question, how should we rule out the options, how should we try to end the confusion between the 2 options, and how to make a smart guess when we are not sure about the answers.
Okay.
So for the tests, I had made a plan that once a month initially I will give the test. So I did my first vision of notes from 1st of February to 31st of August, and in that duration I gave 1 test per month. I used to complete on an average 3 to 4 subjects per month, and I used to give a grand test, leaving behind the other subjects. And my aim for that particular grand test was 2 things. 1, to evaluate the subjects which I had done previously, and second thing, to see that from the remaining subjects how much I can do without reading the notes.
Okay.
So I wanted to make an estimate which are my stronger and weaker subjects. So I could do that by the grand test. I used to evaluate that, and I used to keep my I used to make the further plan of my subjects, that which subjects should I take in priority, and how much time I should allocate to different subjects.
Okay.
So up to August I gave 1 test per month.
Okay.
Then from the 1st September I started my first revision.
Okay.
From 1st September up to 1st CBT, which was on 14th October. That was roughly 45 days. That was my time for first revision. During that I did 1 test in every 15 days.
Okay.
Then I did my second revision from CBT 1 to CBT 2. Okay. That was roughly 40 days, and in that also I gave 1 test in every 15 days.
Okay.
And thereafter from CBT 2 on 9th December to 6th of January I did my third revision, and in that period of 25 days I gave 3 grand tests.
Okay. Now come and tell me one thing. See, BJ, the internship is hectic.
Yes.
We know it very well. Okay. Now, how did you manage the internship and your preparations? Because as you said, okay, you used to have a replacement or you take a leave. But see, in your internship, I very well know out of the 7 days, minimum 4 days are utilized.
Definitely.
People say wasted, but I'll say utilized in the clinical postings.
Setting.
Okay. So in those 4 days, how did you channelize those 4 days to get a result?
That was the reason why I took 1 month of early start, so that initially my internship also started from 1st March and my TND was also started from the first week of March. So I started 1 month before and I completed 3 to 4 subjects of our TND schedule, so that even in the beginning phase, even if I face a bit of friction in managing the time, I could handle it. And that helped me very much. And initially what I used to do was, if I feel that I'm having a lack of time, then I used to prioritize over the topics, because I have already prepared the note once, I have already attended the regular session once, so I already know what are the important topics, what are the core areas which has to be focused. So I used to prioritize them during my reading, and whatever some stuff or some topic, if a part of the subject is left behind, I used to complete it after my after attending the TND session, along with the mop-up of the new things which are being added in the session.
Okay. Now come and tell me one thing. Subjects. Okay. Now everyone says that basic subjects important, clinical subjects important, short subjects important. What is your take on all these?
Actually, I feel as far as NEET is concerned, all the 19 subjects are equally important. And as far as the preparation is concerned, I used to prioritize in that way. I used to always give preference to the weaker subjects, my own weaker subjects.
Which were they?
My weaker subjects were pathology, then anesthesiology, then dermatology, psychiatry in the beginning. Later on, I took the grip over those subjects. And apart from that, medicine and surgery are in general weak for everyone. Pediatrics was initially a weaker subject of mine, but later on I converted it into a stronger one. Okay.
Now, you have given the exam.
Yes.
How was your exam performance and how did you approach it? Like the mind game, the time management, the duration of day, because we had the afternoon session exams for the first time. How did you manage all that?
Actually, when the first time when the government declared that it is going to be an afternoon exam, it was a very big frightening news for me, because I am a person who mandatorily requires an afternoon nap. And that is the reason I was very afraid. I started to change my cycle gradually, because there were around 2 to 2.5 months left for NEET. So I started gradually changing my cycle, but still I needed a bit, at least half an hour of a nap I needed. And then in one of the last sessions of Sachin sir, he told that if you are not able to manage changing the cycles, no problem, you just work the way you are working, and on the day of NEET you will definitely not be falling asleep. So
did you actually fall asleep?
No, no, I did not feel asleep, because luckily the questions were interesting. The clinical questions were very interesting, and I am fond of case-based questions. So I enjoyed giving the exam. And just before the exams, there were motivational sessions and exam strategy sessions of Sumer sir also, Sachin sir also. And from that, I had kept one thing very clear in mind, that whatever, no matter whatever happens, I am going to complete 50 questions in 30 minutes. This was my prime mantra, 50 questions, 30 minutes. And this was the thing which Sumer sir had emphasized very strongly, that you have to try and achieve this goal so that you can get around 30 to 35 minutes for reviewing the questions. And after exam, one thing for which I was very satisfied was this only, that I could complete 50 questions in 30 minutes and I could have 35 minutes for reviewing my marked questions or the leftover questions.
Okay. Now, guesses. See, your score in NEET?
My score in NEET was 943 marks.
943. So which approximates to roughly, if you see, is
248 questions
248
were right.
questions were right. Okay.
248
now see, 248 questions were right effectively, which means you must have attempted more. How much did you attempt?
I attempted 297 questions.
297. So that means probably you might have got 270 roughly correct and some 30 odd wrong probably. Now, a very common question which comes is, sir, how do toppers go for blind guesses? Now, blind guess, what is your...
Actually, I would say that if you have prepared properly, no guess would be an absolute blind guess. it might be a blurred guess or it might be a smart guess. Now guesses may be of two types. Either it might be either you are confident more than 50% or you are confident less than 50%. So in my majority of the cases, since there were case-based questions, I could easily rule out two options. And since in the NEET the paper style is such and the exam question are framed in such a manner that two options can be easily ruled out. And out of the remaining two, you have to either make a smart guess or you have to pick up a clue from the question which will direct you towards the answer. So in many of the questions, I could find out clue which will direct me towards the answer, and that was helpful. And if I couldn't find a clue, then maybe based on some recall or based on association with some other subject or some other allied information, or sometimes it is possible to answer the question just based on a ground level concept, a very basic concept which might not be of that subject, which might be of some other subject, maybe paraclinical subject or a non-clinical subject, but that can help you. If you extrapolate that concept, it can help you in reaching to an answer. So by a mix and match of all this, I could make some smart guesses.
Okay. Now, the DAMS Club, how did you handle that?
Actually, DAMS Club was a very new experience for me. I am not a pro Facebook user. So beyond the DAMS Club, I did not have many friends also on Facebook. So when I initially joined the DAMS Club, I used to see the posts of the faculties. But then I realized that there were many posts by the students also, and sometimes it tend to get time consuming, and sometimes we just go away with the flow and we lose a track on the time we are spending on Facebook.
Did you lose it?
So in the initial phase, sometimes it happened that I opened the club for something and then I just got distracted to some other topic, some other subject, etc. But then later on, I figured it out that it has to be handled in a different way. So what I used to do is, whenever I am studying, whatever queries I have, and if I don't find an answer in my notes or in any other source which I am having, I will just jot it down in a notebook by my side, and then when I take a break, at that time I will just open the club, and before looking at anything else, I will just first of all post my questions there.
Okay.
Whatever, I will tag the respective faculties and I will put my queries. Then if I am having a doubt, I will go for searching the keywords related to that, and I will try to see the post and the replies of the faculties. Okay. I avoided looking at the replies of other students, okay, because they are all mixed and might not be correct. So I used to search by the name of faculty and by the keyword of the query which I am having, okay, and then I used to find the reply of the query and then I would shut it down.
Okay. E-Medicos. What was your take? Because in E-Medicos, we provide you questions, videos, all this. So how did you manage that?
So E-Medicos, initially I used to look it for the EQ series. Okay. I used to watch every Wednesday, whatever episode used to come, I used to watch it, because that was a very refreshing thing and it was a productive pastime. I would call it a productive pastime because afternoon time, many a times we are low in energy, and in EQ series also the question used to get uploaded at around 4 PM or 4:30 PM or so in the afternoon. So whenever that question gets uploaded and I get the message, I would go through that question. I will listen to the entire discussion of that question. So EQ was one thing which I used very much. Apart from that, I utilized the NEET previous year question papers in the last and the video solutions which were being provided, and they were very helpful because video discussions, they not only provide the answer to the question, but they also help in anticipating and predicting what are the future possibilities, what are the future ways in which the question can be framed, the question can be modified, and how the same question can be repeated in a different manner. So that approach I could get through the video solutions of NEET previous year's papers also, and of the GT video solutions also.
Now, come and tell me one thing. See, a fresher doing everything wrong and again getting it right. That's what you explained it to me.
Yes.
Now see, suppose the same video is being heard by one of your friends who got 18,000 rank, suppose, or one of your juniors who has not yet given the exam. What message would you like to give to that child?
Actually, the content is same. Whatever material is being provided, it is common and it is uniform and same. As far, even if we consider the notes or we consider the test papers or we consider any online platform material, it is same for all. There is no difference. The result, even after that, if the results are differing, that means somewhere the error or the difference lies in the reception area. The source is common, the source is uniform and same, but the receptors are different, the reception area is different. Now many a times people watch video solutions, many a times I know I have some friends who used to watch videos at night when they are in half sleeping state, and they would psychologically feel that I have watched the videos and I have covered that thing, but that is not actually going into their minds. Or for utilizing any resource, first of all I believe is that we should be well aware what is the importance of that resource and what is the right method of utilizing that resource. Okay. Now there is no point in going, for example, if I take an example of psychiatry mop-up sessions by Sachin sir. Now if I am studying a subject like surgery, and if I get tired and if I go for a 3-hour long mop-up session of psychiatry, I don't think I will be able to get a productive outcome of that, because I am already tired of surgery, studying surgery, and now I am taking another long 3-hour session. If I want to get refreshed, I should take a small session of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, some queries or some single questions which are being discussed, that can help in refreshment. Now if I go for a 3-hour session, I will lose my track of surgery also, and by the time my mind enters into psychiatry, I will close the psychiatry and I will come back to surgery again. So that might create a imbalance in the mind and imbalance in the processing of the knowledge also and the subjects also.
Okay. Now, come and tell me, last, if I ask, some take-home messages which probably you as a mentor with Rank-18 would like, not only to students whom you know personally, but to all the audience who would listen this for this year or next year, any years to come. What is your take-home message?
First of all, I would like to tell you all is that NEET is definitely a doable exam. So first of all, any goal whenever we are setting, we should believe first of all that this goal is achievable. If at the start you believe that the goal is not achievable, then you will definitely not achieve. So first of all is to set a goal. Then second thing is to set a goal which is higher and which might outstretch your limits, because unless you outstretch your limits, you cannot excel in life. Third thing you have to do is you have to believe in your goal, and you have to believe in your preparation. You have to believe that all the forces of nature will help you to achieve your goal if you are determined to achieve it.
Any other thing which you would like to say?
Apart from that, I would like to say is that always have self-analysis, always do self-analysis, because that is the most important thing. To correct your mistakes, first of all you have to analyze yourself, you have to find out your mistakes, and you have to accept that yes, these are my mistakes. Many a times I see people, they are not ready to accept their mistakes, and that is a very big flaw in them. So always learn to accept your mistakes wholeheartedly, because that is the first step towards correction of mistakes. And second, the last thing which I would like to tell is that for any exam or for any competitive exam, take it as a journey, take it as a memorable experience. It is not something which has been loaded on your head by any institute or your parents or your colleagues or anything. It is something which you are doing for your own self. It is something which you are doing for your own progress and for the betterment of your own life. So take it seriously, take it wholeheartedly and enjoy it. Try to put your full effort and try to give the best shot in the first attempt itself.
So to summarize, as he say, NEET is doable. So that's what we would like to tell you. Just do it. Okay, probably Nike might patent it as their slogan, but as Kavan said over here, for all of us, we need to do it, and we have to learn from our mistakes. We all do the mistakes, but if we recognize it and we are ready to change, that is where the correction starts. Yes. So congratulations, Kavan.
Thank you, sir.
10 years down the line, where am I seeing Dr. Kavan here?
You might see me as a MD radiologist or as a DM endocrinologist.
Okay, so all the best.
Thank you, sir.
We expect you to be one of the best clinicians, whatever branch you pick up.
Thank you, sir.
You have made all of us proud, and your parents, your family, and the entire DAMS family, and probably you have been a very important mentor to many of the students who will listen to this.
Thank you, sir. I am humbled by the opportunity and the importance that is being given to me here at DAMS Delhi. I am highly thankful to all the faculties of DAMS.
Thank you.